Hi, Amy Hauser with Made for More, and we are going to do another tapping or EFT, emotional freedom technique. And I want to tell you a little bit about why this topic is so important to me. We are going to talk today about depression and just that sense of that wet blanket, that heaviness, that slugging that can come on us at times. For years, I dealt with depression in my uh, let's see, early mid 20s, probably. For almost 18 years, I struggled with depression on and off and was medicated a lot. And I'm grateful to say that that has not been a part of my story for the last decade, but it comes on sometimes. And that sense of like, oh, that familiar sense of that heaviness, and it wants to cling on. And I know many people that have struggled with this. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to hop on here, even though I'm doing yard work today. I want to hop on because I've talked to a few people that are struggling right now. I'm like, you know what, let's just do a tapping. Of course, this is not any substitution for seeking the help that you need, whether you need to seek a professional. You're in a really dark place and you need to reach out for immediate assistance. That is so important to do. This is something to just bring us into that place of awareness of our present so we can shift our thoughts a bit. So if this is helpful, that is great. It's a tool that can be used in so many different ways. So let's just dive right in. I want you to just become aware of your surroundings and your presence and being here, right now. So keep in mind what we're doing is we are working on the mind. We're working on the heart connection, coming together, succinct, and retraining our neural pathways, because what we believe and how we see our circumstances um, affects how we view everything in our life. It's a lens we're looking through. So we're wanting to retrain our neural pathways, are these neural nets in our mind to think differently and respond differently to things. And so like for me, because I had so many years of depression, I have neural pathways or those paths in my brain that just go back to responding in a certain way. And what we have to do is take some personal responsibility, ownership of going, nope, this is my mind, and I'm going to respond, and I'm going to choose how I respond. Because as uh, being in Christ, we are one with Christ. We have the mind of Christ. We have the being, the heart of Christ in us. We just often don't know how to live that out. Like we're still in that process of uncovering what that even means for us. And so we have to be kind to ourselves in that process when we have times that we're just like, no, I feel very alone. I feel like something else has my mind, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. This will help just bring us in to remember that we have that place, that we're one with Christ. He is there, he's accessible, and we can move past this to do what we need to do to care for ourselves and to allow him to care for ourselves at the same time. So we are going to just first, let's just pay attention to our breath. I want you to just really center yourself. Maybe soften or close down your eyes and just get in that restful state. And I want you to take a deep breath in for 4, and then we're going to exhale for the count of 6. We're going to breathe in through our nose for 4. We're going to exhale through our mouth for 6. And I want you to do this at your pace. Don't get upset or, kind of thrown by my breathing. Just let it guide you and get used to doing that. So we're going to go in for 4, out for 6. And again, in for 4 and out for 6. Now I want you to shift just back into a rhythmic breathing that's comfortable for you. And we're just going to stay here for a moment. And just as you're breathing, I want you to tune into your body. and the awareness of this sense of depression or this depressed feeling that you're having. And just if you were to rate that on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being I'm not depressed at all, to a 10 being off the charts, out of my skin, deep despair. And just kind of make a mental note of that number for yourself. And as you are aware of that feeling, that sense of that heaviness, I want you to tune into your body right now. And what does that mean? That means just thinking about, or just not even thinking, but feeling what's going on in your body. Where's there tension? Where is there a lot of emotion tied up? Whether it's the neck or shoulders, stomach, throat, head, maybe your hands or elsewhere. And just tuning into that. So, is that a familiar feeling? Or is this new? And so before we start tapping, just a quick reminder of the tapping points where you can tap on your karate chop point here, side of hands with one hand or two. You do above the eyes, one hand or two, sides of eyes, again, one hand or two, under eyes, right under the pupil, one or two, under nose, under lip, or what I call chin point, collarbone, one hand or two, and then the underarm, about 3 inches or 4 inches under your armpit. For ladies, right where the bra line would be. All right, so what we're going to do, first I want you to repeat after me, and your eyes can be closed or open. Starting on the karate chop point. Even though I feel so heavy today, I choose to accept this heaviness in this moment as my body is speaking to me. Even though I feel so much depression, I choose to honor the way my body is responding today so I can move through it and experience some relief. This depression feels so heavy. Like a heavy blanket covering all of me. And I can't get the air I need to move forward. As I sit in this heaviness, I choose to accept myself and the way I am feeling in this moment. Eyebrows. This depression is lingering again. And I feel very frustrated by it. Sides of eyes. It scares me when I get like this. Under eyes. I can feel it in my body. Under nose. And it's so scary. Chin point. I have felt this a long time. And I just want it to leave. Collarbone. I don't know what to do when it hits. I'm so frustrated that it literally stops me in my tracks. I know intellectually what needs to happen. But when it hits, I freeze. Fear enters in. And I can feel it in my throat. I can feel it in my neck. I can feel it in my head. I can feel it in my hands. I can feel it in my stomach and my back and throughout my body. Underarms. I get so worried about protecting myself and saving myself. And it just gets worse. Top of head. It's like it overcomes me. It hijacks my life. Eyebrow point. It's also become very familiar. Sides of eyes. I've been through a lot. Under eyes. But this is also making me feel awful. Like some of the other things in my life have in the past. Under nose. I don't want to feel this way. Chin point. I need it to go away. Collarbone. It just gets louder when it does come. And I can't function. And I can't turn off the feelings or the voices or the sense of worthlessness. I feel like it's winning today. And I need this heaviness to leave. Underarms. The way I've coped in the past doesn't always help. So I'm opening up to new ways of responding. Top of head. Now you don't have to repeat after me here. It's okay if you just did. But I'm going to have you do something as I guide you through the tapping points. We move to our eyebrow, or I'm sorry, top of eyebrow. I want you to picture yourself as best as you're able. And you're in a dark room, sides by eyes. And you have a giant blanket. It's so thick and it's made of such a heavy material. It's more like heavy rubber, but yet it's a blanket. And it is draped over you. It is like fallen upon you. And you're just under this blanket, dry. Picture this blanket and yourself and how your body posture is under it. Perhaps you're fetal. Perhaps you're sitting upright. Maybe your head is lowered because of that weight of that blanket over the back of your neck. Notice the darkness and the heaviness on your nose, the lack of air in this space. Chin. The sense of being alone. And there's no sound. Tune in to how you're feeling in that place. And the emotions that accompany it. Collarbone. What are you aware of here? Underarms. And then you realize that you are there, that you're not alone. As you shift your focus to the one who resides in you. Top of head. Gradually, the corner is lifted. That front left corner of the blanket is lifting. And all of a sudden, a cool breeze comes in. And you feel it. You allow yourself right now to feel that cool breeze ever so gently gracing your cheek, your arms, your face, your whole being. Eyebrow point. Now the right corner lifts. And you take a deep breath in and inhale the cool air. Sides of eyes. You even notice light streaming in from the darkness. And you allow your mind and your eyes and your head to even turn upward towards that light. Under eye. And as you do, your neck straightens. And the blanket begins to roll up as if it's just being lifted by nothing other than your thoughts. Under nose. You literally feel that blanket with your mind and your heart connected. being lifted off of your head, sliding down your back, and falling around your feet. There's such relief coming as it removes itself from your being. Chin. That heaviness is just at your feet. But what you notice your attention turns towards is the way that your arms are free, your hands are free, your back is straightening, your neck is erect, your head and your face even turn upward to relieve the tension in your neck. You're moving your neck around, and there's such just an immediate sense of space and expansion. Collarbone. Just take some deep breaths. Breathe in that air, the fresh air. The windows are open. Your eyes are seeing a streaming of sunshine through those windows. You hear birds. You hear laughter from the distant playground. And you feel a part of it. And you realize that you're making your body move. You're choosing to listen to the beautiful sounds around you. You're breathing, drinking in life. Your eyes are open now. Your hands are moving. Your body is confident and comfortable. Underarms. You notice that the blanket is still partially on your feet. And so you look at it. And you see what it's made of. You see that it's still a little bit there on you. And you acknowledge it. What is the blanket saying to you? Top of head. What does that blanket want you to know? Eyebrow point. Perhaps it has something to say about why it was there today. So you tune into that without being drawn back under it. But you observe it and you listen. Under eyes. Perhaps you even ask a question. Under nose. Chin. Collarbone. As you turn your attention back to yourself and how you're feeling, you realize that you get to decide how you respond from here. You tune back into your body and see where there's tension remaining. You stand to your feet And you move over to the mirror. You acknowledge what you see. You see the blanket laying behind you, but your feet are free now. And you smile at the reflection in the mirror. You see the strong individual who then is reminded of the living God that dwells in them. And if you look closely enough, you see his eyes looking back at you. You remember that you're not alone. You remember that his life in you gave you the strength to move today and to rise and to allow light and life in. You move under your arms. And you realize that you can respond differently and that the emotions do not control you, but actually have something to say. Top of head. As they're acknowledged, they're not given permission to dominate, but rather educate. Eyebrow point. You then move over to your desk and you write some of these feelings down and see what comes up. Sides of eyes. You take some time to rest under eyes. Perhaps work. Under nose. Perhaps reach out and encourage another. You open up even a little more to receive love. Chin point. Now repeating after me. I am open to receiving the love of Christ, regardless of my state of mind and state of body. Collarbone. I'm loved no matter what I'm going through. And I choose to love myself as I experience these cycles of ups and downs in my life. As I tune into my body without judgment, I'm able to move through and come back to my heart and come back to my mind so that I can make the next best decision for my life. I choose to receive love and let this perfect love that resides in me take hold. Now you can gently stop tapping and just place your hands on your heart. Taking a deep breath in and out. Now I want you to tune back in to that number. I want you to give yourself a number now. See if your rating went up or down or remained the same. And if you found it going up, it's important to go back and tap some more, just using these very similar cycles, or just doing this and repeating it again, but tuning into what came up for you. It is important to take time for you and listen to your body, especially when we're struggling. And so I really appreciate you tuning in to this tapping today. And please remember, if you find yourself in a state where you know you're not doing well, it's very important to reach out to someone you can trust, counseling, uh, even if there's a need for the suicide hotline, or uh, reaching out to schedule an appointment just for more tapping here with me. If that seems like you want to do more and dive into some things more specifically, visit my website, www.amykhauser.com, and you can schedule an appointment for EFT, for a guided tapping session. As a facilitator for EFT, I find it really helpful, and I love to work with people one-on-one where we can dive into specific situations to make sure you can get some peace that you so deserve. So thanks for tuning in today.